Okay, so today we're going to be discussing how much do you spend. Let's take a closer look at your expenses. In the past few days, we've been discussing about doing your numbers, scrutinizing your numbers. So today we're just focusing on specifically expenses. Where are you spending your money? Where is your money going? So the agenda for today, the topics we're going to be covering is 1, your home, 2, your car, 3, your essentials, and 4, your social. So your home. Your home is one of the biggest expenses that comes out. Your home is probably one of the largest things you pay for every single month. So when we're looking at your home, there's normally about 3 big areas that you're spending your money with regards to your home. It's either going to be your rent and mortgage. It's going to be, your electricity, water and gas, or it could be your furniture and the technology you have in your home. So with regards to your rent or mortgage, what I really need you to do is I need you to check out the average price for, a similar home in your area and see is the rent or the mortgage you're paying, is it high or is it low? Are you in the top end of your home in the area, or are you in the low end, or are you in the middle? Because if you're in the top end in your area and you're trying to improve your finances, you really need to bring that down. I'm trying to say, like, you should at least be in the average kind of rent for the area. You should be in the average kind of mortgage for the area. You're not trying to pay the highest rent or highest mortgage in this area. So you might need to downgrade your home. You might need to go from a larger home to a more medium-sized home. Or if you've got a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, then if you're not even using the other rooms, you might need to downgrade to a one bedroom apartment. So this means that you might need to downgrade a little bit. You might need to, if you don't want to downgrade the size of the home, then you can just downgrade the area slightly. So for example, in in your area, if you're in the top end of your area, find the more middle class part of your area, or even the lower class parts of your area. It is not going to be where you can be staying forever. It is not going to be your home forever. This is just to improve your finances. Electricity, water, and gas. I need you to go back to your suppliers, your utility suppliers, and really see if you can actually work on getting that down. See where they can, reduce the cost somewhat. See if you can, email them. You can phone them up. They might be able to work out a plan that you can reduce those costs down. They might give you some tips and advice as to what you can do to reduce that. Second to none is that you just, if it's electricity, you just need to focus on, like, where are you wasting electricity? Have you got the heating on for too long? Do you have too many lights on all the time when you don't need it? Water, are you having too long a shower? Is the water being wasted? Can you basically, reduce the amount of, showers having per day? If you're having 2, 3 showers per day, have 1 shower per day. That'll bring the water down. And gas, all of these different things. You just review what you're doing on a daily, on a weekly, and a monthly. That's making your electricity, water, and gas. You can get the readers. The readers actually tell you, how much money you've got on, on your electric and your water and your gas, and it can tell you how much you're spending on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So you can see where the money's going and what you're doing. It can even just be plug sockets that are on for too long. Make sure you're switching off all your plug sockets, not leaving things on overnight when you don't need to. Furniture and technology. Now, if you haven't bought your furniture outright, then you're probably paying, monthly for it. So, things that you actually have, like, for example, if you don't need Amazon Home, if you don't need Google Home, if you don't need, all these different bits of technology that you've got, like, for example, a lot of people got Alexa, or they've got Google Home, your TV, all of these things, well, think about, do you actually need all these things? The things that you don't need, you can get rid of, sell it, even if it's used, sell it, get rid of it, just get out of the way. Don't add on any new furniture or technology if you're thinking about doing so, because that's going to just increase, the expenses coming out. But, sell these things, get rid of them. You're not paying for it anymore every single month. Furniture wise, you can't really do too much about it if you've already bought it. But I mean, if you've got extra furniture that you don't need, get rid of it. If you're paying for it monthly, get rid of all the things that you don't need to be paying for it. Like, if you've got a Hoover, it's a big, large Hoover, then get a smaller Hoover. All these different things, furniture and technology is going to be coming out, financially every single month. It's going to chip away your expenses. So next we talk about your car. Your car is obviously another major expense that you're probably spending on every single month. With regards to your car, it is usually going to be into one of these two brackets. Either going to be the car payments, like the finance, if you haven't bought the car outright, or it's just going to be like the usual maintenance costs of insurance, fuel, services, and repairs. So in terms of the car, I mean, if you can sell your car, that would be very much advised, because I'll tell you one thing, if you can get rid of your car, you're not paying monthly for the car anymore. You don't have the finance payments. You don't have the insurance. You don't have the fuel problems. You don't have the service and repairs. You're saving a lot of money there. And then you can still travel around by bike. Electric scooters are very popular nowadays as well. And in some cases, if you have to, just go by foot or just go by public transport, because if you do the numbers, you'll actually realize that you're saving a huge amount of money just by not having your car. I mean, with a home, you can't get rid of your home, but you can get rid of your car altogether and travel still and get around. A lot of people don't believe that, but I vouch to test that out. Test that out. If you can just make do without your car for 1 month, even just park your car at home and see, okay, can I make do this month without using my car? If you can do it, then, getting rid of the car is going to really help you. But finance payments, if you really need to keep your car, try and reduce down the car that you've got. You don't need to have a Mercedes, BMW, Audi necessarily. You could still get away with having a more simple car. It could be a Ford, it could be a Vauxhall, could be a lower brand or manufacturer that's going to be more affordable for you. See what other cars you can get instead, and see if you can sell or swap your car or exchange your car. See what you can do to downgrade your car and get it down. So if you're paying £500 a month for your car, see what you can get for £300 or £200 or even £100, £150, like smart cars. See what you can do, because then that's extra money back in your pocket. Same thing with the insurance. See your insurance supplier. See if you can basically switch over to another insurer. Fuel, see what you can do about fuel. Can you reduce the amount of fuel that you're spending by, not driving out every single day necessarily, but only driving only when you need to. For example, when you need to go to work, or, when you got to commute for some reason. But other than that, try to, just go by foot, so that way you're only driving necessarily Monday to Friday and not every single day. Now, your essentials. We're going to be discussing all the different things that you need for yourself every single day. This is going to fall into a few different brackets. Talking about food and drink. Your shopping, your daily grocery shopping, food shopping. We're also looking at clothing and accessories. We're not talking about just shopping just for designer clothes. I'm talking about the clothing that you purchase, just in boxers, knickers, bras, t-shirts, basic essential things, socks you need, bags, essential things that you need as and when they happen. Maybe, kids and family, they're constantly, ruining their stuff. So, you have to get new bags and clothes for them. Household items, it could be like washing up powder, fairy liquid and things like this, and grooming, beauty and toiletries. We're just talking about, your usual soap and shampoos and things like that. This is where all your money's going. But all of that, that could all be reduced drastically. All you got to do is just go into another supermarket that's, reduced price. So for example, if you're shopping at a supermarket and getting all these things, and the supermarket is an expensive supermarket, just by simply going to a more affordable supermarket is going to bring the price down on all of these things there. So that's just going to be extra money that you're saving in, and extra money in your pocket. It's going to reduce your expenses again, which is the whole point of this, which is trying to get your expenses down. If you go into individual places to get these specific things, like if you go into individual clothing shops, individual food and drink places, independent niche places, you're probably going to be spending more, because they're probably going to be branded. They're probably going to be, more expensive at these individual shops. So if you can go to like a low budget supermarket to get all these different essentials that you need, then you're probably going to bring it down. Because the whole point is that we're trying to get your expenses down. Because when we get your expenses down, then you have a bit more extra money put aside. So this is one of the easiest ways to get going with this. Next, your social. I mean, obviously, everybody wants to have a social life. Everybody, not everybody is the most social, but some of you are very social, and that could be your downfall. That could be the problem. Maybe you're spending too much on your social. Your social falls into brackets like restaurants, bars and clubs, holidays, your hobbies and interests. Maybe that's sports, whether that's music or whatever you might do, extracurricular activities. These are the four brackets that your social life is probably falling into. Obviously, there are others, but just take a look at these. I mean, how often are you guys going to restaurants? Are you going to, are you doing a Friday and Saturday night going out to eat every week at, your favorite restaurant? Because, every time you go to a restaurant, it's very expensive compared to like cooking at home. And if right now you're trying to improve your finances, going to restaurants on a regular basis is not helping. So, you're doing your numbers looking at that. Bars and clubs. Do you go raving? Do you go clubbing? Do you go bars and clubs on a frequent basis? Because if you are going to these things, that's another place where you're spending a lot of money. It's not easy to go to a bar or club without spending a bunch of money on the ticket, on drinks, on travel, on commuting, cabs and things like this. By the time you finish, even buying clothes to go out to the bar or club, by the time you've finished, you've definitely spent a bunch of money. And even if you do that once per week, that's big expenses gone. Holidays, you're not going to be necessarily doing a holiday every week, but even like, putting money aside every single week or every single month for a holiday in the future, that's going to be a big expense of yours. Because if you break down that cost of that holiday into a monthly or weekly expense, you're going to see that that's a big amount of money coming out as well. So how many holidays are you doing every single year? Hobbies and interests. If you're playing sports is not free unless you're just going to a local park, which is that will be free. But I mean, if you join a club, if you join a gym, if you join any centers, you're going to be paying for that every single month. So that's money out of your pocket. Again, if you're not using it, if you're just trying to get your expenses and your finances improved, this is another area where you probably leaking money. Gym memberships, leisure center memberships, sports clubs, even the sports clubs, if you got a membership for that and you got to pay for every single time you play sports, music, any activities you do, all of these things right now, you're leaking money here. So these are your expenses coming up. So the action steps for today, simple. I just want you to focus on going through your numbers and just see where you can reducing those four categories we talked about. Reduce your home expenses, reduce your car expenses, reduce your essentials, and reduce your social. If you can do that, if you can focus on reducing them, not completely eradicating them if you don't want to, but at least just reducing them. So if you're spending 200 in one of these categories, try and bring it down to 150. By the time you've done that, you have an extra 50 quid in each of these categories. So that's your action steps for today. And as usual, like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment below, and I'll give you my 2 cents.